Hey everybody, in this video, I am revisiting a classic video from the POD Insights channel, how to create combination listings with your Printify account that still sync your orders. All right, so in this video from just about 6 months ago, I explained how you can create a combination listing in your Etsy shop using Printify in a way that allows your orders to still automate. They still sync to your Printify account, and basically it just involves copying SKU numbers from your Printify listings into additional variants within an Etsy listing. And I have a process for using a draft or template style listing in your Etsy account each time you do this. And I focused on doing this for apparel listings. So things like offering t-shirts, youth size t-shirts, sweatshirts, all in one listing. But I have gotten questions in the comments on that video about doing this for different products and a few other types of questions that I thought it would be a good idea to do a follow-up video. So first, let's talk about this process if you are not doing it for apparel items, because one of the most common questions in the comments on that original video was, would this work the same way if you are not doing apparel listings, if you're selling something else that you want to just offer more than one option in the same listing? The answer is absolutely yes. The reason why you can do it with anything is that Printify uses the SKU number that's associated with each variant to identify incoming orders in your Printify account that are coming from Etsy. So as long as there is a SKU number on an incoming order that matches a product in your Printify account, the order will show up on your orders page and it will sync properly. So it's not just for apparel, you can do it for any combination of items that you want. The only thing you need to be careful of, as I mentioned in the original video, is that you don't want to combine products into one listing that you would normally really need two different shipping profiles for, because you can only have one shipping profile per listing. But that being said, let's do an example for mugs, because the way that I do this for mugs is actually slightly different and it's faster versus the method I use for apparels. I actually don't use a template listing in my Etsy account for mugs because there's only two variants that I typically put into one listing. Now, there might be up to 3 or 4 variants if you want to do white mugs and black mugs in the same listing, but let's stick with just the 11-ounce white and 15-ounce white options to show you how fast it is. I'm going to start with the 11-ounce, so I'm just going to start my 11-ounce mug design process. I typically actually copy a previous listing from my My Products page, just because the pricing and some of the things in the description will already be there. But if I was starting from scratch, I would just go to the catalog and then add the design like you always would. So here we go. I've got my Living the Dad Life design on my 11-ounce mug. I'm going to use this listing and put my real title and description and everything that I want to use, because instead of using a template that's already in my Etsy account, I'm going to just publish this one as a live listing and then add the 15-ounce size option to it. When it comes to publishing this one, this is going to be the listing we're going to use for the final listing. But if you want to wait until you add the 15-ounce variant into it, you can select the hide in store option. That will push it as a draft to your Etsy shop. But if you're going to be adding that 15-ounce variant right away in the next couple minutes, you don't have to hide it necessarily. You can just push it as a live listing. All right, so I published the Dad Life mug in the 11-ounce size. Now I just need to create a draft in Printify of the 15-ounce size. So here's our 15-ounce size. I'm going to do the exact same thing, just add my design. And I will go into it just to edit the name so that I remember which one it is, because sometimes it's hard to tell from that little thumbnail. All right, and then we just save that as a draft. We're not publishing that one to Etsy. We don't have to push it as a draft. We don't have to do anything other than save it as a draft in our Printify account. And now we can come over to our Etsy account and go to our listings page and find the 11-ounce size that we published, and it'll be in your draft folder if you did the hide in my store option, or it'll be a live listing right here if you did not. So we'll go into this listing. Now, just as with our apparel process for doing this, we are going to have to manually add the mock-up images for the 15-ounce size. But when it comes to adding the variant for the 15-ounce size, it is very simple because we're only adding one variant. Now, this came through as an individual item, so there's only going to be one set of pricing, quantity, and SKU here. So what we need to do is go to Variations and click on Add Variations. So we're going to do Add Variation, and then we can select the capacity or you can create your own variation for size. I'm just going to select capacity here. And then you want to check off the box for prices vary for each capacity. And you can also do quantities, and you definitely want to do SKUs vary for each capacity. And then under capacity, let's select fluid ounces, and then we will put 11, add that, and 15, and add that. So now we've got our 11 and our 15. We'll do save and continue. Now, unfortunately, Etsy does wipe out the details from your 11-ounce size when you do this. So you will need to re-enter the 11-ounce SKU number, price, and quantity. Now, I'm going to put $9.99 for the quantity for both of these. And then what we need to do is just grab 2 SKU numbers, which is way less than what we needed to get for the apparel combination listing. So just come back to your Printify account. First, we'll grab the 11-ounce size from our draft listing here. Now, there's 2 different views that Printify has, and this is one reason I wanted to make this video. In the original, I advocated for publishing all of the variants as a draft to your Etsy shop so that you could view them side by side, basically in 2 separate browser windows, and do a very fast copy paste. And one of the reasons I recommended that was because when you view the SKU numbers for your variants, it shows the SKU number like this. Basically, it's cut off. So you could try and select the whole thing, but it's a little bit tricky, and it shows you the whole SKU number in a pop-up. And so that was one of the main reasons why I suggested publish this as a draft. However, I recently discovered that if you resize this window in your Printify account, it actually changes to something more useful. So if I just pull this browser tab out and watch what happens as we make it more narrow. Right there, it just changed view. So now, let me move it over a little bit so you can see it better. Now each variant is grouped by size. So if there were multiple like color options within 11 ounce, those would be grouped under this listing. And the way it works is you now have to click on View Details to see the SKU numbers. But once you do that, a separate window pops up and it gives you the full SKU number. Now, I really don't think there's that much of a need to publish each of these as a draft just so you can easily copy paste, because if you resize your Printify browser window, it gives you this nice clean view. And then even if there were multiple color options here, they'll all be easy to see and then copy paste. So this is my 11-ounce size. I'm going to copy this SKU and paste it into the 11-ounce here. And then we'll use this little back button up here in the corner to go back one more time. And now we will find our 15-ounce size. We'll go into that listing, scroll down to the variant section, and again, click on View Details, get the SKU number right here, and that is the SKU we needed for the 15-ounce size. Now we're done. That's it. So other than, getting our mockups like I mentioned, and if you were going to offer like the black color mugs in the same listing, you would have potentially 2 more variants to add there, but otherwise, you're done. You can hit the publish button, and now you've got a listing that includes both sizes. And the same thing can be done for all kinds of products, not just apparel. So if you offer posters and you offer like the matte style and then the glossy style, you can combine those doing the exact same method for each size. Now, in case it wasn't clear what I was talking about with this view of the SKU numbers, because it's not super obvious with just one variant in there, let me just show you a little bit more what I meant. Like here's a t-shirt from the back to school episode that I did. There are multiple colors and multiple sizes. So if we go into that one, and let's pretend I was adding this t-shirt into a listing with like an adult size t-shirt. When I've got the window sized like this, and I would have my Etsy listing on the left side of the screen, I can now scroll through here and you'll see extra small has 5 colors. So we click View Details, and here are the SKU numbers for each color of extra small. I can just copy all the SKU numbers from here. So this is a slight revision to my original process. Now that I know you can get a nice clean view of all the SKU numbers for every variant right in your Printify account just by making the window smaller, I would recommend doing that, because then you won't have to delete the drafts that you push to your Etsy shop after you copy the SKU numbers. So that's it. Nothing super revolutionary there. I just wanted to share that I found a way to save a little bit more time in the process by not having to publish every variant or every product as a draft to your Etsy shop just to copy the SKU numbers. And I also wanted to point out that you can certainly use this process for any product that you want to combine into the same listing. And it's even faster if it's for something like mugs where you have fewer variants. So if you found this update helpful, hit that like button so that YouTube can show the video to more people, and subscribe to the POD Insights channel if you haven't. Thanks to all returning subscribers and all viewers, really, because I appreciate all of your support. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.